Number 2, peace, not pressure. Y'all, I told you guys this last week. I'm going to tell you guys this again. One of the hallmarks of the faith, the hallmarks of knowing where God is leading you is peace. If you have peace, God lives there. The enemy cannot create anything that compares to peace. He can create numbness and he can create temporary moments of happiness, but he cannot create peace. And so if you are dealing with somebody that you do not have peace about, now I've said this before, family, and I'll say this again. The enemy, before you get to the place that you need to get to, before you get to whatever promise that is that God has for you, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, you're always going to be dealt with a counterfeit that looks good but isn't God, okay? And that person is going to, on some level, they're going to romance a part of you that you struggle with. What does that mean? If you struggle with lust, or you struggle with, okay, if she's a beautiful, is she bad? I'm sorry. I'm gonna have if you're a guy that says, listen, if you bad, I don't know. All sense leaves the building. I can't handle bad. If I see bad, I gotta move. Your boy's weak in the area of visual. Okay. And that's okay, y'all. It's a safe space. We all have areas that we need to work on, right? But if it's a beautiful woman or beautiful women that you struggle with, right? Guess what the enemy is going to send you? A beautiful woman. Now you have to take into account, because every time you deal with a counterfeit woman is, you're always going to have to compromise on some level, right? And you're going to know you have to compromise on some level because it's going to be very clear. There's not going to be peace. There'll be happiness. Y'all might have a good time every once in a while. She might be a good escape, but she's not peace. You think about your life long term, this ain't the woman you're thinking about. She's the in-between time, in the meantime. The problem is, family, hear me very clear, guys. Hear me clearly. What happens with counterfeits is this. You get comfortable with a counterfeit. And that is intentional. The enemy wants you to get comfortable with a counterfeit. Why? Because then you'll settle in the wilderness and you never get to promise. And if you have a promise, right? A promised relationship, a promised person that is waiting on you to get your act together and focus. So guys, if you're listening to me and you have a promise and you know that God is leading you in a direction, and and if some of you guys might even know the direction. Some of y'all might not even know who the woman is. You might be following her right now on IG. You know God told you that's your wife. But you out here playing. No, get focused, family. We don't know how much time we have. And there's purpose that is tied to that relationship. Stop playing games, man. The problem is, what we don't understand, and this is what the enemy does, he deceives us. He's the great deceiver. So what he does is he may seem like, oh, you ain't got to do that right now. I mean, bro, like, you, like, what? Like, what? No, like, bro, you got all the time in the world. You gonna do this now? I mean, you was in a relationship like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And you said, bro, you're single for 2-3 years, but bro, it's been you haven't been able to move the way you want to move. You haven't been able to do what you want to do. And you know what I'm saying? Like, that would just lock you down. Like, that's going to be too much, bro. That's the interview. Right? And there's a part of you that knows God is saying, I need you to get it together. And some of y'all have experienced God sitting your behind down and saying, I need you to get it together. Like, you out here playing around, and I've got purpose tied to your lineage. I've got purpose tied to your legacy. And you out here playing with these counterfeits, all they doing is making your life harder. You don't realize it. You don't realize it because it's subtle. You could be out here really building a family with the person you're supposed to be with and really doing something for the kingdom, which is bigger than what we're doing right here, right now. But you could be on a whole nother level, like an Abraham or an Isaac or a Jacob. You can absolutely be like that, where kings come from your line. Kings come for your seed, but you out here playing with giving your seed out, giving your seed out to these counterfeits. I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but I'm just saying. And then you're now having spiritual ties, soul ties. Y'all, some women, I'm going to be graphic. I'm going to be graphic. Hear me out. People going to be mad about this. There are spells that are being put on you guys. They just are. They're on TikTok. They're on YouTube. It is real. Yes, and they could be beautiful women that do witchcraft, not maybe ignorantly, not really knowing, but they could be doing it too. And y'all are saying, I'm going to deal with you because it's right now. Not understanding that some of the love spells, y'all. Are y'all ready for this? Because this is a common one. And some of you guys have no idea that this is going on. That's the problem. Because you're consumed with, I want to play around, not understanding that you're wasting time with women that will not matter for your future. You don't know how much time you have. And maybe God is pressing on your spirit because he knows how much time you have. Maybe God is pressing on your spirit because there's other things that you need to do in the time frame, and you're wasting time dealing with women that may be messing with your head and your spirit and your soul in ways you can't even imagine. So y'all, I heard a story about somebody I know personally, and they took, they take their urine. Some women take their urine. They mix it in with some other stuff. And you may not realize it, but they put it in food or food objects. And they get you to somehow ingest it. Like they may put it on your toothbrush. This is real, y'all. And then they put it with other things so that you have no idea. Like if somebody puts urine on your toothbrush and then they wash it off to where you don't taste it, you would never know. You just would never know. But that is a witchcraft way of getting into your soul. Like now you have this attachment that you really have no idea you had. Yeah, somebody said they put BLOOD in the spaghetti. I've heard that too. I've heard other things that they do, seances that they do. They take your image. All they need is a black and white image and your name, and they do seances to get you to think about them. And here's the thing. One way you'll know is because you don't really like them, but you can't get rid of them. That's how you know. You don't really like them. You don't really like them for real. Like if you're being real, you kind of like them, but the way that you have this, you keep going back to this person, it really doesn't even make sense because you don't really like them. You just with them. That's it. That's how you know. It's like, I don't even know why I'm calling you right now. Like, I don't even know why I'm thinking about you. Like, I really don't even like you. Be aware, guys. Be aware. Or something you just like out of nowhere, just like, why am I thinking about this girl? I don't even again, it's really, you have to know this is the mark of it. It's like you have an awareness that you're really not feeling them like that. There's something that annoys them about you. They kind of bother your spirit. You don't really, You're around them and they cool, but they're really not. Lorenzo said he had women put eggs behind his bed. Yeah, there's some things that they do. They take over your possessions and do a ritual over your stuff to bind you. Dirt, jar, or pick spells. Absolutely. Y'all, stop. Guys, please hear me. And it just like breaks my heart because there's so many men that are deceived. You choosing the world is not you being free. It's not freedom. If everybody, y'all, I can literally pick out a single man and I can ask him, why is he single? He is going to say the same thing as the next man. Why you don't want to be married? Oh, because it's an unconscionable agreement that men be getting into. Why y'all all saying the same daggone thing? Maybe it's because y'all are not making decisions off of your own intuition. Maybe there's an agenda being pushed to keep men single and keep women single. And I wonder why that would be. And now we have these casual relationships where we're hooking up with all these different types of people, not knowing what spirits they're dealing with, not knowing what they've got going on. And you're bringing these people around you. You're physically intimate with these people and you think you're okay. You think that this is just going to be, it's just nothing. And then one day I'm just going to be better. One day I'm just going to wake up and, just be a better man. No. Why do you think there's a movement with men that are being celibate? From 50 Cent to Lenny Kravitz. Why do you think these men are doing that? And they're saying that they have clarity they haven't had before. I wonder why. Because they're not dealing with the spirits. Why do you think men that they don't have issues getting women? They're attractive men. They could probably have their pick of the litter. Why are those men saying no? Why are those men saying they're waiting? Why do you think that there's a movement like this with that type of guy? Because the reality of it is that there's a clarity that you reach that you would not reach by continuing to move in a certain way. We speak a lot about women waiting. We speak a lot about women, being chased and doing things and holding themselves accountable. And I'm 100% in agreement with that. But the one thing that we do not talk about is men doing the same thing. Because men, you're the head of the household. God charged you with dominion and power. That's what God did to you. You are a king. You are to have dominion. And if you're being influenced by the world and you are not practicing discipline in a certain area of your life, just like King Solomon, you will fall. I know that that's not the popular thing to do. I know it's easier to just go with the flesh and be lustful and do what you're doing. But the reality is, just Google what lust does to men. Just see what's happened in our own society with the successful men that have allowed their lust to take them down a path that they cannot get out of at this point in time. You just see it for yourself, how people have ruined their lineage, their families, and all these different things because they did not know how to have discipline in the area of lust. Why do you think an enemy would put lust in front of you the way that he has if he didn't know that would be the one thing that would entrap you? There's a reason. There is a reason why corn is so readily accessible to you right now. Why do you think that is? You think that just by happenstance? No, you have a real enemy that wants to take you out. And you have a real God that wants to save you. You have a real God that wants to take you to the next level. And you over here fighting to hold on to something that really you should be letting go of. Family, we don't have control. We don't have control. Control is an illusion. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, y'all. Let's not just
be every once in a while. Let's become family, okay? Friends that are family. Okay, join my family today.